welcome everyone to Scientific
Thinkers.
Thinkers. And today is an exciting time because
We've come to a new place.
we found a new place. This is exciting. So, we will be doing our videos from this new fabulous location.
Yeah.
Yes. And today, you know what? It was a fun day today. So, Pragna's laptop, which is this guy, has gone bad with a bad
Hard driver.
hard drive. And so we thought, why don't we change the hard drive? And as we are changing it, we will all look inside the laptop and see what's going on. Isn't that fun?
That's exciting.
That's exciting. So let's get on, open a laptop, and see what's going on.
I'm excited for this.
That's pretty cool. So let's get on it. So we are back and we have opened our buddy. So if you remember, just to let you know what's going on, this is the screens and we have just opened the back side. So you know what's going on. And now we're going to talk about some of the fun part about what makes a laptop. Let's see if you can, that gives a better angle. So I think what we want all of you and Pragna, you to understand is, so computer is nothing but it's like how human does something. We people, right?
Yep.
How we think, how we do stuff. Because it is designed by us, right? It's designed by people, right? So we pretty much designed it the way we do stuff. Do you know that?
Didn't know that.
You know that? So, and that makes it all the more fun. So if we look at us, right?
Yes.
So how do we work?
We have a brain.
So good point. So we eat food,
Yes.
right? Food gives us energy, and then that energy powers our body, right?
So we can run.
So we can
jump.
run, we can jump, we can pick stuff. Absolutely. It makes our eyes work, makes our ears work, makes our legs, hands, everything work, right? And then we have a brain,
Who?
which helps us understand what to do,
Yes.
right? We have our heart that gives everything, make sure everything gets everything whenever they need something.
Yes.
Our brain get oxygen, our blood veins get blood, and we get all the stuff that keeps us running, right?
Yep.
And similarly, even in our brain, something we have like long-term memory, right? Oh, I do you remember when you were born and you got your first gift? When the first day you went to school?
No.
Do you remember those days? Do you remember taking bus for your early kindergarten days?
Yes.
Yes, that's because it's stored in your brain. That's your hard drive, right?
Yes.
And if I say, Pragna, do your homework, right?
Yes.
And you start doing homework, and then I say, Pragna, do you want to watch TV? You say, Papa, no, let me just focus, right?
Yes.
That is your short-term memory, right? So it makes you ready in that moment. It helps you focus. That's called RAM
Oh.
in computer, right? So now if we go inside the computer, we have something similar, right? So if you look at, say, this big guy is nothing but motherboard. Why it's motherboard? It's like our body has a lot of veins. It's like our heart. It makes sure everything gets everything. Things could go whenever we need something. The information could go back and forth. So this motherboard makes sure our brains, our eyes, like computers' brains, computers' eyes, computers' legs, everyone gets everything when they need it to run. And this fun stuff is the battery, right? We eat food to charge ourselves, right?
That's like our battery.
So that's true. So in a way, if we put it in power, that power is giving food in the battery, so it can stay, it can retain, it can maintain the energy. And if through that energy, it just sends it to the body, that's a heart, and then heart distributed all everywhere in the motherboard. So this is, we say, this is something called RAM, right? So we call short-term memory, right?
Okay.
So what it does, as we discussed, right? So what is RAM?
A RAM is something you easily know how to do.
Right. So if you're doing something right now, it stores information that you need to do the things you're doing right now.
Okay.
Making sense?
Yes. Making
So if you're doing homework, it maintains everything that you need to do the homework. If you're doing your maths homework, your brain helps understand what all stuff you need to know to go do your maths homework. So you will never recall a story or English literature when you're doing your maths homework. Similarly, if you're reading a book, your brain would never let you remember what is 2 plus 2, because you're busy with English reading. So the brain makes sure you know every information that you need to know to read that book. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yes, so that's a short-term memory. And this guy is the processor. So this is a fan. This is fan. And under the fan there's a processor. What's a processor?
Processor is a brain.
It's the brain. That's absolutely right, Pragna. So it is where you process things, right? The brain is where everything, all the action happens, right?
Oh.
So, and why do we need a fan on top of processor?
Because the processor becomes very hot. We need to cool it down.
That's a good point. That's a Pragna, very, very good point. So just like us, right? So whenever our brain does too many things, we get irritated. We get bogged down, right? We make mistakes. If we are angry and you ask us to do our homework, more often than none, folks, we do mistake. Our brain needs to cool down so we can think properly. Similarly, this brain needs to cool down so it can think properly. So whenever brain gets hot, the fan runs and it takes the heat out and it just spread it out. That's why this is very essential part. And brain is a very important part of the body, so we need to make sure our brain is always cool, right?
Yeah.
And then what is this tiny dude? This is our hard drive. This is the one that went bad. This is where everything is stored in a computer.
It's the long-term memory.
It's the long-term memory. So that means if the computer is, say, doing your software to do your, say, if you're playing a video game, right?
Right.
So what happens? So the computer takes the video game part out. It goes to the processor. Processor is storing it on the RAM. And then it starts playing with the RAM and start giving you that game thing, right? And then it starts sending stuff to your monitor, which is below this surface. So it shows you screen. And where is the keyboard? What's the role of the keyboard? Do you know?
What's
So keyboard is where you type stuff, right? And in computer, keyboard is a way for us to talk to this fancy circuitry, right?
right?
So computer understands how. So computer talk to us through a keyboard. How do someone talk to us?
But in words.
In words, right? Our eyes look at those people, and our ears.
Focus and listen.
And what do our ears do? It listens to those people, right?
Yeah.
So in computer's case, more often than not, it listens our keyboard. So that's why it has a special software, it has a special program that understand what keyboard means, and it understands to talk to us through the keyboard. So keyboard is a very important part of this laptop. So now let's so we have taken bunch of screws out to make sure we can take this hard drive out. Oh, it's out now. So we'll take this guy out and then we'll put a new one. We have to be a bit careful because these connectors are very important, very soft and critical. This is the new drive that we got. So we just need to put this guy back. Uh-oh. So Pragna, so you have seen Google Home,
Yeah.
right? What are those guys?
Those guys, if you ask them questions,
Hmm.
they answer it.
So, but do you know? Can you guess what these guys are?
These guys are robots.
They are like small computers. Do you know that?
No?
So the whole this big stuff. If I just need a device that can just listen and then do a search on that and give and tell us the answers, right? So you can just take that functionality and make it smaller. So if you sort of squeeze everything this in a small chip, that's pretty much what Google Home is. It's a small computer.
It can come in different sizes, big or small.
You surely can. Yes, that's correct. So do you know that
No.
Google Chrome is a computer?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And similarly, Alexa, like all these guys are small computers designed for very, very specific purpose. So now we have put the new drive in. Okay. It looks good. Okay. We put this guy back here. And guys, we can do another fun stuff. Since this guy is gone bad, we can open and see what's inside hard drive.
That's a good idea.
Isn't that a good idea?
Yep.
We'll see how the hard drive works, how the computer reads stuff.
Yes. I want to see.
So with this video, I hope we all now understand how the computer works. It's exactly how humans work, right? We have a heart. It has motherboard. We have a focus memory, that a small memory that helps us do focus, maintain focus. It has RAM. We have a brain. It has a processor. We eat food to charge ourselves. It take electricity and charge the battery. We store stuff. We remember things. Hard drive remember things, right?
Right.
So it is mini me or mini you.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yep.
Maybe someday we will be living inside this.
Well, that can't happen.
Why?
Because we aren't a circuit. We aren't circuit.
That
don't live in
if
circuits.
if you think that may happen,
I never
Yeah.
knew that.
we could be at one point living inside. That's a topic for another video.
Yeah.
So we all know how a computer works now. What are the parts of the computer? And then maybe in the second part, we'll talk about how does the hard drive work. So scientific thinkers out. And if we don't see you, have beautiful and wonderful holidays.
Yep.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.